(1974-1100-10:30 p.m.) I was on my way to Big Wheel Restaurant, traveling south on Shadeland Avenue. I saw what looked like the window lights of an airplane, going left, east, to right, west, and descending, like it was coming in to land at airport. When it got above Shadeland Avenue, it followed Shadeland Avenue, a 90-degree turn. When it got closer, the square windows looked like red flame, but I got the impression of figures in some of the windows, but the lights from windows were so bright that I could not look at them for more than a nanosecond. When the object passed over me, I tried to look up, but my eyes burned and watered. The air was heavy and there was no sound. Lost sight of the object when the traffic moved, and so did I. It made my hair on my neck and arms stand up.
The 10th of September 1974, 7:20 p.m. Indianapolis, Indiana. I was playing hide-and-go-seek with other young kids at a bowling alley on a Monday. My mother was on a bowling team. I was maybe 9 or 10 years old. If I remember correctly, the name of the bowling alley was Northeastern Bowl. I grew up in Indianapolis all my younger years, which means I've seen the Goodyear blimp a lot. It used to fly right over my house as a child every year. So, I know what it looks like from every angle. So, as I was playing hide-and-go-seek, I looked up to see if my friends were hiding in some trees or possibly on top the building. That's when I noticed the object hovering, moving very slowly like a blimp. If I would have looked up sooner, it would have been right over my head. I'm going to say around 200 to 500 feet above me. But it was at an angle. Moved very slowly like a blimp, but it was not a blimp. It zigzagged across the sky and never changed shape. If a blimp zigzags, it changes shape depending on the angle that you are viewing it at. So, I called my friends in to help me identify the object. Most of them were younger than me. So, they didn't know what they were seeing. So, I went inside to get an older person to view the object. They refused to come outside. They thought we were making the whole thing up. So, I ran back outside and watched the object continue to traverse the sky for around 15 to 20 minutes back and forth until it went over the horizon. The strange thing about it was it had dull yellow lights spinning around the outside edge in a very random order. Now imagine the Goodyear blimp with lights so bright that even when the sun was still up that you couldn't possibly read the scrolling words on the side of it. To me, it seemed like it was trying to mimic a blimp, but the lights were so bright it looked fuzzy. Now if I was paying money for advertisement on that blimp, I would want my money back. Because there is no way to read what was spinning around the edges of this thing. The more I thought about the way this thing moved across the sky, it made me think that it was looking for something like scanning the ground. And ever since the day I witnessed this, I have been searching for something that would at least look like what I saw that day. I haven't found an exact match yet anywhere, and I'm 53 years old now.
(1998-08-0012 a.m. Indianapolis, Indiana). Sorry, my report is so late. Summer of '98. I was 20. A little after 11 o'clock I was expecting my mom home from work. She came banging on the front door, too hysterical to use her house key. I opened the door and she rushed in saying there was something in the sky. I went outside and almost straight above me, slightly northeast, was a large apparently metal object less than 1,000 feet above, I believe, with rotating yellowish-orange lights approximately 80 feet in diameter, sliding slowly southeast. Very much like you sometimes see them described on TV. This is a run-on sentence, I know. We lived at the very most southeast section of Marion County, just south of Acton, just outside of suburbia. It was too large to be something mechanical a balloon could carry, and it could not be a copter because it was completely silent. I wanted to follow, but my mother was in hysterics. It slowly slid south-southwest over the tree line and I lost sight of it. The next day a neighbor said people were running through her field with blue lights, but she didn't see anything in the sky. What bothers me most is that now my mom has no memory of the incident. Maybe it just challenges her religious views and has blocked it out, or maybe it's something more sinister which worries me. Now I'm the only one who recalls it. Is this a common kind of sighting? Please respond.
The 14th of July 1979, 12 a.m. I was at home in Indianapolis, Indiana. I was 9 years of age, and I see a terrestrial face-to-face. The same thing that happened to Stan Romanek. I was looking through my bedroom window at 12 at night. Not going to tell everything on this message, but what I seen on Stan Romanek video is so true. I was left with proof and follow as I got older in life. No matter what state I went to, I always seemed to be following by a glowing orb in the sky. But after I seen a video with about Stan Romanek, that's when I thought of talking about it. I thought I was the only one that had a close encounter experience, but I carry the proof every day of my life. I am now 45 years of age.
The 13th of July 1976, 12 a.m. My then husband and I were driving downtown Indianapolis one summer night around 11:30, headed to his son's house on East New York Street. He came out and we were talking in his front yard, but we were all wondering what these two crafts. There were three, but from his yard we observed two. First, from his yard we could not discern shape, but saw lights and observed hovering and slow soundless movement. It was getting late around MN when we left and began driving along White River Parkway West Drive. We pulled along the side of the river and stood looking up at two triangular craft, then looked off to the southeast across the White River, and there was a third moving and hovering. The lights went out then back on. Then I observed the one closest to us. It did the same. Then as we watched the third one several hundred feet higher up, it moved, stopped, then shot up into the northwestern sky. In the blink of an eye it was gone. Then my husband said we should leave as he had to be up for work, so we got into the car. I really did not want to leave. And as we started driving, the one nearest us kept pace without car at 30 miles per hour to the intersection of West Michigan and White River Parkway West Drive. I told my husband to go real slow as we went under it. I rolled down the window and hung out the car to get a really good look at this triangular craft not 45 to 50 feet above our car. It had three white lights on the corners of the triangle and one red slowly pulsating light in the center underbelly. It had what appeared to be dark elongated windows all across the two sides of the craft that I could see from my vantage point. Then we drove home and I was so upset to leave. When I got home I called the city police and told them what I saw and asked if they could check with our airport. They did. Nothing on radar. And no calls from any nearby military installations. Only about 5 years ago did I find the pictures of the Belgium UFOs, and I must say the ones I saw were identical to the sightings they had there in the 80s.
The 4th of June 1996, 12 a.m. Indianapolis, Indiana. Hi, I was in my bedroom laying in my bed when I got abducted. Everything happened so fast, but they had complete control over my body. Then the next thing I know I was on an operation table and they had objects in their hands. I remember me praying for them to release me, so I was released, and I remember me hovering over my bed where they positioned me back at. I also had another experience where I was taken to a place. It appeared like I was underground with people working machinery. They all had on white uniforms with white helmets. Junior was very strange. I may have been in Area 51, I'm not for sure.
I was SMIMMING with my younger sister around noon at my cousin's house. WHO was babysitting us while my mom was at work. She had on her black bathing suit, tanning, facing the pool, laying down on Chase with sunglasses, maybe napping. It flew in from southern entry, daytime UFO metallic 6 feet -8 disc with lights, slow entry, hovering above house 4 feet, very, very fast, always silent, eastern exit. While it hovered above house for about maybe 20-40 seconds. I stared for maybe 3 seconds before yelling for cousin Angela to look. After her saying what? And a back and FORRTH with me pointing. Maybe 20 seconds of my panicking yells for her to look. She came towards us and the pool. While walking towards us, craft shoots away eastward over 100 miles per hour instantly and silently. She had her back to the house. The craft was 1 foot -4 feet above the ridge of the ranch home. By the time I got her to turn around, the UFO had made itself so small with distance it was a dot if in sight. She thought I was being a little boy, I assume. No one believed me, so I haven't told very many people since then. But I have always had a fear of being followed by UFO since that time, and the moon at night my dad used to tell me.